So we start with actually third task because we did first two. So what is the third task? Since we have this document, and this document for us is like an example of your course paper, we will make it exactly as a course paper, one by one. So each course paper, and basically every large document, in the beginning has title page and has table of content. So what we will do first, we will prepare this in our document. So since we have here only text, what we have to do, we have to insert in the beginning of our document 2 pages. One for title and second for table of content. So this is our first task. That is mainly third task. Okay, so let's proceed. Before we proceed, we would like to lay some grand rules for those two sheets of paper. Because if we will look into our examples, for example, this book here, then we see that that overall document has the same rule, and every thing on the screen looks the same, because the formatting is the same everywhere, except, for example, first page, because first page looks totally different. The letters are bigger. There are empty spaces. There could be some other additional formatting rules applied to this that are different than it was in the previous examples, in the previous sheets. And the same applies for table of content. They also could look different. So what it means that when we will insert our new pages, we will actually try to do it in a way that later we could apply different formatting and different rules for those sheets of paper. So they could look differently than our document this point forward. Okay, so how to do that? So since our first page will be document title, what I will do, I will place cursor here behind my text document title, and I will go to layout, breaks, next page, and this will create an empty page with this text on it. Then, since I need table of content, I will place my cursor here. I will go to breaks, next page, and this will create a new page for me. I can click here on this page and type table of contents, just to know that this will be table of contents. Not today, next week, but still it will be. Now, at home, you have task number 11. And this task says that you have to come up with the title page. So you have to create title page. As it says here, no specific rules. You can put here whatever text you want, whatever pictures you want. It should be like a title page, something like this. But you can fill it out with your own ideas, with your own pictures. Be creative, okay? Don't be stressed out. It just has to be your expression of yourself. Okay, this is what you should do. Now, important notice: if you go to Home, Show and Hide, that's how it should look like. You should have this element available for you. It's a section break. It's not page break. It's section break, and it's section break here also. Right? And now we get here and we can proceed with our work. Now, next part. We created those sections. We're expecting them to be like this. Now, let's go next and let's read carefully what are the next steps. And next steps are page size and margins. Since we are planning to sometime print it out and submit in the printed form, like for example your bachelor thesis, the margins are important because they allow you to put them together in the correct way. So this is important, and we will try to implement this on our example. Let's go to our document and let's find the way how we can set up all those rules. So page size and margin. So let's go here. Where we should go? Yes. Okay. Okay, this is a margin, but what next? Custom margins. That's right. Since we have to set up our own margins, we go there. Also, if you want to set up everything, actually you can press this button on your page setup toolbar. This will give you the same, but with one button. Now, we are interested in those two tabs there, margins and paper. Since paper already is correct one, we don't need to bother with it, but we can go to margins and then we can use it. Okay, now let's go here and try to fill out.
Just a question about the task.
How we will fill in and fill out actually this window. Okay, try to be fast. So what we do, where, and probably what. So top 3, okay, left
3, right 2, bottom 2.
right 2, bottom 2. What else? Is there something else we should use here? Since we will print this out on both sides of the paper, yep, we will use multiple pages mirror margins. That's right. Do you see something else that we can change here? Now the last step comes from what we did till far. So if you will just press OK, what will happen? You will apply this formatting only for this specific section. So since we created new pages, we have 3 sections: first page, second page, and the rest of the document. So if you apply this, this will be applied for this. So what we will do, we will try to use this one. Whole document, check for the paper size, A4, and press OK. Now, how this should look like, please pay attention. If you will scroll down, mirror margins will do the following trick. You have 3 on the left, 2 on the right, but on the next page you have another direction, 2 on the left and 3 on the right. And that's how it changes all the time, because that's what mirror margins do. Okay, that's how it looks like. If you have something like this, then you are very, very normal student. Now, there is one problem, or let's say challenge. And this challenge also comes from this book. And this challenge says that actually your mirror margin stuff should start only from introduction. But before introduction, your sheet of paper should be printed on one side each. So instead of one page that we have with 2 sheets of paper, we will have 2 pages. One page only for title, the other side is blank, and then the second page with table of content, and other side is blank. So that comes with a problem, because now this page is wrongly formatted. Since if this page will be printed on one side, those 3 centimeters should be here, and those 2 should be here, since we are printing on one side. Let's think about this in a more simple way. If we will think about this problem in terms of mirror margins, and we will just think that mirror margins are the problem, we will never go anywhere far, because even though we will try to go to, let's say, layout, page setup, and try to change this to normal on this particular section, it won't work, because turns out that this applies to whole document regardless what you put here. So we cannot change mirror margins. Then we have to think just in terms of this sheet of paper. What I will do here, I will think about this problem as follows. I will look at this sheet and I will understand that that kind of a setting that I have here, 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, means that on this page I will have 2 on the left, 3 on the right. So what I have to do here to make it vice versa, 3 on the left and 2 on the right. What I have to do here to make to switch places. if this means how it is now, what I have to do to switch places. So what I have to do here, I just have to change places for those numbers. I will play 3 with 2 and 2 with 3. And in this particular case, I will stick to this section. And if I press OK, what will happen? This will move. Now I have 3 on the left, 2 on the right. If I go up, I have the same 3 on the left, 2 on the right. And if I go to the third page, I still have the same. But if I go down there, then mirror mergence starts. So what I did here, I used this section option to manually change only one part of my document that was formatted incorrectly in this particular moment, and then everything else stays the same. So when we have dealt with size and margins, our next part is text. And this part in your document, in your description, shows you how many different text items you can have. Actually, it's not so much, it's just 5 elements. It's either just text or it's one of headlines. There is no other way how you can format your text. It's either text, or it's a part, or it's a section, or it's a subsection, or it's just some kind of a headline. And for all of those, we have some rules. Now, we will try to implement those rules and try to use them. So let's start with the simplest solution, and it's just text. So how just text looks like? For that, we have those 3 lines here. Font size for just text should be 12. Font Times New Roman or Calibri. Line spacing 1.5. And color black. Also, it should be justified. And that's all. So, let's go back to our document and let's answer on the question either whether our text applies to those rules, and if not, how we can change it. I would like us to notice is that there is not so many ways how you can format your document. And there is not so many ways how what kind of a text you can place. So this is perfect situation for styles. You can predefine how different parts of your document look like and just use the style without the need of select something and change it manually each time. You just do it once and then Word will automatically apply it. Let's look at an example. So the normal text like this is actually called normal. So if you change this style, you will change all text. Let's try it. So how to change normal text? Right click, modify. So by clicking this button, you will get this window, and here you can adjust whatever formatting you need for your text. So let's start doing this. I will change Calibrist. It's still correct, but for sake of change, I will change it to Times New Roman. We can do that, so that's not a problem. Let's go next. What we do with size? 12. Okay, what else we can do here? Yes. Where space where? We can change justification. That's right. Alignment, it's actually called. So justify is this button. That's right. We can do that. What else? Color is black. What else? We should do something with line spacing. Yeah, but I would like to do that manually. Yeah, we have this button. Please change your tone to something interesting. Don't use this. It's like you stole this phone. It's not yours. So we can use those buttons here, but they are just predefined. I would like to make it manually. So where I will go to format, because I see here arrow. Arrow means more options, and this is what else I can format for my paragraph, right?
Also the space between paragraphs.
Yes, that's right. There is also that thing. So we will go to the paragraph because this is the main thing we would like to format. Let's go here, and this is more robust and more controllable way where you can define your problem, your setting. So alignment already is set, justified. We did this. Now let's go to the line spacing. What we'll do here?
We'll make this
1.5. Okay, 1.5 lines. Very good. Now let's talk about spacing here. Do we have some information about spacing between before or after the paragraph? Yes or no? Do we have some information about spacing before or after the paragraph? Yeah, line spacing is 1.5, already did it. But spacing after or before the paragraph itself, do we have some information in this text? Where it says so? No, nowhere. That's why I'm asking. There is no information about spacing, so what does it mean? No, it's not okay. It means we don't need any spacing. So we have to put this to 0 because we don't need any spacing before or after our text. Now, very important, this book not only says, this book also shows. So, looking at this screen or this example, what else we should select here to make our normal text look like in the way we need to look like. This is thing that isn't described here, but you can see it on the example. We have here space on the first line because that's our cultural thing. So you have to do it the same way. Either you will enter space 8 times, or you'll be more effective, and you will use this option, indentation special first line. Now, this is actually all what we need for normal style. We go to OK, and whole document automatically looks like a course paper. And you can already submit it, and maybe not so attentive professor will even grade it for you. Next step is headlines. So we have 4 levels: part, section, subsection, headline. In your document, you will see only 2 levels. There will be parts, part 1, part 2, part 3, and here I have a mistake. It's not title, it's actually part. It's part. It's part 3, part 4, and that's all. Also, you should know that conclusions or introduction or bibliography is also formatted as parts, even though they are not called parts, but they are formatted as part headlines. And then you will have also sections. You don't have in this document subsections, and you don't have headlines. So you don't have to prepare styles for them. You have to prepare only for part and for section. Now, how to do that? Similarly to normal style, that is for normal text, in Word we will have a specific style format for headlines, and this is heading. And as you can see here, you have several headings. Heading 1, 2, and actually you will see also 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what are those? Those are specific styles that are created for headlines. And numbers indicates levels. So this is the first level, this is the second level, third level, fourth level, and so on, right? So for each level, you have your own heading. So how you should apply it? So you click in a paragraph that you would like to format as a heading, and you just click on heading like this. And this paragraph instantly changes its appearance. For example, like this part, heading 1, and it changes. That's how it works. So I will leave only those two because obviously they doesn't look as we need. We need it to look like this. So let's change it. Now about headlines. What do we know about headlines? So there are some basic rules that apply to everyone, and then there are specific rules that apply for a specific level. So let's look at the basic rules. First of all, they should be in bold. That's one thing. Another thing, it should be as short as possible, but if you have more than one row, it should be single as the line spacing. And now let's go to the specific part. So for parts headline, the size is 16 points, and you have a space after your headline. So that's how it should look like. So bold, line spacing, size, and space after. So that's what we have to set up for our part headline. So let's do that. Let's go back. Since this is our style for part, right click, modify, and let's fill out everything that we need here to be filled out. Now, what you will advise me to change here and maybe why? We start with bold. It should be bold. Okay, what else? Size. Size is correct. What else? It's not so difficult. What else? It should be in the center of the row. It doesn't say it in the text, but you can see it on the example. It's in the mid. It's in the center of the line, so we go to middle. Okay, what else? Space 12, where I can get it. But before that, we have to finish something here before we go to format paragraph. What else here? Color, obviously, it should be black. What else? There is something still here that we have to change. It starts with F. Why I should change the font? It looks how? I have already selected for my normal text Times New Roman. My headlines also doesn't have any choice anymore. They should be also Times New Roman. It's only one time option. So if you choose for one Times New Roman, it should be everywhere. If you choose Calibri for normal, you will use Calibri everywhere. Okay, so Times New Roman. Now format paragraph, and let's dive into those in this part and think what we can change here. What we can change here, please? Any ideas? Let's start with spacing. Before it should be 0 because that's what this picture says. There is nothing before my headline. Very good. And after it should be 12 because that's what my picture says. After should be 12. What else? Line spacing. It should be single. Maybe there's something else. Indentation special. Please pay attention to this one. We do not need first line for our headlines. Headlines will always be the first line, and we do not need it to be shifted to the left, to the right. It should be in the center, so we do not need this one. This came from normal style. That's why we will just delete it. For my heading, I need it without a special indentation. So this is how it looks like. Press OK. Press OK. And as you can see, everything is perfect. Now you go next to the part 2. You press heading 1. And it's instantly formatted. You go to part 3. Press it and it's formatted. 4. Nice. And then we have conclusions. Very good. And then we have bibliography. Very good. That's how it should look like. Now, last part that we will discuss before I will finish myself is this part. Since this example shows us that there is nothing before headline, this has some pretty practical explanation. Part headline will always happen on a new page. This situation is wrong. You cannot start a part in the middle of the previous page. If it's a new part, it should be on a new page like this. So you can do this manually using Ctrl-Enter, or you can insert new section if you want it. But since this is specifically designed for heading 1, each heading 1 should be on a new page. It's probably that there is some button that will allow us to do that. So we start by the only logical step, since it's somehow connected to heading 1. Right click over modify. Then obviously it's not here because this is basic stuff. So we go to format and then look here for next step. It should be paragraph because nothing else will do. Paragraph. Now, if you pay closer attention to this, you will see that there is two options, two tabs: indents and spacing, line and page break. So we need obviously line and page break, and here you will see a cool checkbox, page break before. If you check it, your life will be beautiful. But before that, one simple question. I will show you something and then you will answer on that question. So, format paragraph, page break before. Okay, now how this checkbox works, I will explain it to you. So if heading 1 sees that before there is a text, when I press OK, this will move to the next page. Now, does introduction should to move to the next page? No, because there's nothing before, right? Okay, so let's press OK and let's look what happened. Okay, and introduction has moved to the new page. Now, can you tell me why? Very good. It's like super cool answer. That's right. Since this button works in a way that if there's something, I will move you down. If introduction moves down, there is something. Do you see something there? We should see that. That's right. Home, show and hide, and yep, there is a paragraph. So because of this, it moves down. If I will delete this part and I will try it again, modify, format paragraph, page break before. Okay, okay. Now it stays here because there's nothing there. So why this example? What this example says to us? Since this is a computer, it will always do the same thing over and over again. If it behaves differently, it means that something is different, and you should think, what is this? What is different? And then you find your answer. Now, we have five more minutes. Let's discuss section headline. Okay? So, section headline has the same rules. The size is a little bit different. And after is the same. But before, this is cool part. When section or subsection is before text, then the space should be 24 points. But if there is other headline before, the space should be only 12. Okay, so either 24 or 12, and this is judged by the previous text. If the previous text is normal, we use 24. If the previous text is headline, we use 12. Get it? Pretty simple. There is no way how to make this automatic, so I will show you a workaround. So, obviously, we start with applying heading 2, because this is the next level. Okay, so it's heading 2. Now, modify heading 2. Let's fill out those options. Obviously, it's Times New Roman. Obviously, it's 14. Obviously, it's bold. And obviously, it's blank. Let's go to the format paragraph and set up other things. So, it's not justified, it's centered. Now, it's not first line, it's none. It's not 1.5 line spacing, it's single. Let's discuss this part. Before 24, okay, after 12. Because 12 is always after. Before could change. Now, why I will be using this setting instead of 12 before or 0 before? Because this situation will happen only 3 times in your work, because there's only 3 parts, or 2 parts, or 1 part. This situation will happen more often, because there will be more sections and there will be more text before the section. So I will apply more frequent solution, and if there will be some specific occasions when I have this, I will change it manually. Let's look at this. So I leave this one. Okay. That's how it looks like here. If I apply it here, it's fine, but here it's not fine because this space is too wide. Okay. What I will do here, not by managing style, but by managing this particular paragraph, I will change the size. How I will do that? I will go to the paragraph here. So my cursor is on this particular paragraph. I go to the paragraph here, and I say that for this particular paragraph, do not use spacing before. Use after, do not use before. Okay, and that's how it works. For this one, everything is fine. Here, I will apply heading 2, and then manually, I will change it to 0. Okay, but here, no problem. It works perfectly. Okay, here, no problem. It works perfectly. So there are some limitations to what we can do, and there should be workarounds. And we are able to finish this actually also with numbers. We can add numbers to our headlines. Now, we could go, since we need numbers for each heading, we can go here, modify, and you can find numbering here. But can you tell me why this could be a wrong answer, wrong solution, to go here and to change numbers? From the basic idea that we did before and what we need to do now. Why to go to the specific style is the wrong way to work, go around this problem. Okay, I will try to find correct answer in your answer, and by doing that, I say yes, you're right. So when we go to the specific heading, that means that we will apply number to the specific heading. But here, those numbers are connected with each other. We have 2, 1 because here we have 2. So if heading 1 is 2, heading 2 will be 2 something. 2, 1, 2, 3, 2, 4, and so on. Heading 3 will be 2, 2, 1 because there was the heading 2 that was 2, 2. 4. Okay. Now, since we have to apply this formatting for whole style, for every style in one hit, it's not going to work if you will go for each heading. So you have to find another way. And another way is this button, multi-level list. Because if you press here, you will see different options for numbering, and what we need is this one. Why it's important? Because it shows the correct numbering system that we will use, and it also says that it will automatically link to a heading. So if you press this, what will happen? Each heading will get their own number, and each level will be also getting the correct number. Okay? Now, the last part for us is this dot. We have this dot in the end. How to make this happen? It's pretty simple. In the same button, multi-level list, you will find this option, define new multi-level list. And what you can do here, you can go through all levels that you can use. In our case, it's only 2 levels, first and second. And here in this window, you can come up with whatever you want to be added to your number. In our case, we just need dot. So I go to the first level, I go to the second level, and I add dots to it, like this. And it works perfectly. What else you can do here, by the way, if you want, you can go to more, and what you can do, you can change the character that goes after your number. It's tab element here, but you can change it to a space, so this will make your space between number and text smaller and more comprehensible. Don't forget that you have to do this for each level manually. So you go to first one, change to space, go to second one, change to space, press OK, and that's how it's done.
For the next part, we need to get rid of a number here in the introduction part and in bibliography. Those are the rules. So those two, and also conclusions, they has to be without numbers. So we have to change that. There are several ways how you can do that. The easiest one is to just delete a number. Just place your cursor here, press backspace, and go to and align again in the center, and it will do the trick. But we will use more enhanced approach that will allow you in the future be more flexible. Because what I will do next, I will create a new style. So new style, and I will call it just part. And the important part here, style based on, should be heading 1. But the only change that I will do to this style, it's still heading 1 without one small detail. Format, numbering, none. Even though the none is kind of selected, I still will press it, press OK, and what will happen then? The number will disappear. OK. And important part, number will disappear here, but on the second heading here, it will be here, it will be 1 instead of 2. So it's working. I can go down here also, like that, and I can adjust part, and it will work again. Okay, so last part here is numbering. So we have to number our pages. And interesting part is that numbering should start from introduction, but first 2 pages should also count. So I should somehow get number 3 on that page, number 4 on that page, and so on. And there is a small trick also here, because your page number should be in different places for different pages. Since this page number 3 has 3 centimeters to the left, so the number should be on the right. But on the next page, everything is vice versa. So since it's on the right, the number should be on the left. And that's how it should go. Now, let's try to do that. The easiest way to do that is to go to Insert, Page Number, top of the page. But as you can see here, you can select either left, either center, either right. So let's go for right, because why not? And we will see how this works. On each page, our number is located on the right side. And this is wrong for some cases. So, for example, for this case, it's correct. Right, for this case. And now please pay attention to what we see here. We see here section numbers, section 1, section 2, section 1, and section 3, right? So that's how it looks like. And everything down here is section 3. But also, a very cool part is that on header and footer tool, we can find this checkbox, different odd and even pages. Because what is happening here, this page, number 3, is odd page, and this number 4 is even page, and we can make them different. So let's press this button and let's see what happens. So if I select this, as you can see, this number 3 stays, but if I go down on this page, nothing appears, because this now is even page, and even page should look differently, and I can set up this page differently. So what I will do here, I go to the page number, I select top of the page, but now I will use left part, because I need another number on the left part. Also, be very cautious here. Since this is a normal style has hanging for the first line. So what I will do, I will change this, and now everything is correct. My number is on the far left side, and here on the far right side. So as you can see, if you go down, we have 5 here, 6 here, 7 here, 8 here. So everything works perfectly. Now, one small detail. So this is the first page where number should appear. If you go up, we will see number 2 here, and we will see number 1 here. So if I will delete this number here, and I will go back down, I will see that now also number 3 is lost. So that's not what we actually want. Control Z, I get back. But also, since this is section 3 and this is section 1, what we can actually use, we can use this button, link to previous. So since those are two different sections, they are linked together by this button. But if I uncheck this button like this, right, this is not valid anymore. So this section is no more looking to the previous section, section 1. So if I delete something here, it won't be happening on a different section, like for example number 3. Why we are looking on section 1 instead of section 2? Because of an odd page rule. So we are looking to the previous odd page, not the previous even page. So that's how it works. So that also means that if I want to delete this number 2, I should go to the even page section 3, and I have to uncheck link to previous. I have to go up and delete this number here. That's all. So that's basically it. We have created all formatting that we need, and that's fine. Now at home you should create document title page as, judging by your own wishes, and I hope it will be creative. So there is no rule what you can put here. Just make it fun and interesting. So you have to create a document title. Do not create table of content. We don't need that. Okay, so that's all. Hope you will have fun with this.